Hey everybody, Justin here on another ride again. Figured I'd shoot another video for you guys about spirituality. Glad you guys came and visited us today. So I'd like to go ahead and thank y'all for coming by. If you have a chance, go ahead and hit subscribe or follow or like. Whatever you do, you know what to do. Leave a comment, question if you have, we'll get back to you right away. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. So the subject for today's discussion that I'd like to talk about is this spiritual concept of allowance. Now, I'm not talking about like the type of allowance you got when you were a kid for doing chores. I'm talking about allowing things to happen for you in a favorable way. Now, I think a lot of people might be like, hold on there a minute, buddy. Like, things are supposed to be difficult or supposed to be challenging or they're supposed to be this, that, and the third. And, if you saw my previous video about, the nature of reality and we talked about, spirituality, we did it very briefly and kind of kept it simple on it. But the whole premise of what that was about is that you, I, and everyone else have this, innate ability to, how do you say, enter into a phase of reality that, is more aligned with how reality actually is. And one of the ways that you can easily find yourself phased into this reality, and in fact, you could test this out right now. It's a real easy thing to do. I've even done this with my brother-in-law. He was driving truck, and him and I were having a phone conversation about it. He was having a difficult time driving the truck. And I told him to go ahead and give this a try. So here's what I'm telling you to do. Let's say you're working right now, or I don't know, you're trying to cook a dinner, or, you're trying to have a good time with the kids. And I don't know, it just feels like nothing's coming together for you. It's a challenge. It's too difficult. It's just not working out for you. What I want you to try to do is I want you to try to relax and tell yourself, you know what? I'm done trying to force this to be some way. Instead, I'm going to just allow it to be that way. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it be that way. And I want you to come into this sense or space of allowance that instead of you trying to make it happen, it's already happening for you and you're just letting it happen. Now, some people might say, this sounds kind of crazy and weird. Well, I'll say, don't knock it till you try it, because it worked for my brother-in-law and it's worked for several other people that I know. And it really is a nifty, pretty cool, quick way for you to kind of do a little spiritual test, if you will, and see for yourself. And I think that when you do this, if it's anything like everyone else that I've talked to about it, you'll notice an immediate result. Now, what I want you to know is this notion, it is a much deeper notion. I mean, it goes way deeper than this. And when you do this, you're just scratching the surface of it. If you're not already doing it and implementing it in your life, you're just scratching the surface of this notion of allowing. But you scratch the surface of it and it's supposed to show you, hey, there's something more there. There's really actually something to this whole spirituality thing, or something to this notion of allowance. And what this is supposed to do is kind of provide you this spark or this inspiration, and maybe you'll take that a little bit deeper and take that forward a little bit. And how I mean this is, this starts with just this first thing that you started with to test it out. It was fun. You get a smile on your face. You're like, okay, that's really awesome. But the goal is that you're inevitably going to take this into all the other areas of your life, and you're going to engage yourself and the, I guess if you want to say it, the whole universe around you in this new way of letting everything unfold in a favorable way, not only for yourself, but everyone else. And this particular modality of being or operation, or the way that you can go about doing things, this actually isn't something that originates with me. I can't take credit for it, but this is actually something that originates in a lot of various spiritual texts. One in which that it primarily is relative to is Christianity, talking about Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ was able to do all the things he did and do it in a way that just seemed so easy. It was already happening for him. It was like it was already there, and all he had to do was just say, there it is. Well, this is this notion of allowance. Now, when I'm referring to somebody who is a master of this, which, I could say that Jesus Christ absolutely is a master of this. I mean, this is at a level that's way more higher, or what most people would say is an exalted level of capacity of using this method of allowance, or allowing what we commonly would understand to be God, or which is the all goodness, which if you've seen my previous videos on spirituality, we've kind of touched on this notion of all goodness, where this comes from, why this is, and things like that. But this notion of allowance is, here we have all this goodness back here, and it's already here ready. It's there. It wants to be here. You know what I mean? You're, for instance, using your good time with your kids. Your good time with your kids and them having a good time with you. That's there. It wants to be here. This reality wants to be your reality. The question is, will you allow it to be your reality? To the degree to which you can actually allow all the goodness to come to you in your life is the same degree to which it actually will unfold for you. And so, starting out with practicing a little bit of this, even just for fun, scratching the surface of it, taking it deeper, is a great way not only for you to come into a greater notion of spirituality, but also a great way for you to come into a greater understanding of God and also of somebody like Jesus Christ, because you could kind of come into a place where you can understand this part of this person, or this part of this greater being. And when we come into, what do we say, some sort of similarity with these forces, they say once we come into that similarity, we have that equivalence. And then, of course, that gives us this notion, or it gives us this impression of what's there. And then you can, of course, explore that. So I hope you guys will try out this allowance. I hope that you will see that this is also framed in with a lot of other different facets of spirituality. For me, primarily through the lens of Christianity is where I get it from, in that. And I hope that you will try to scratch the surface of it, and that, once you see that, you get some goodness from it. And then, try to take that deeper, not just so that way you could go ahead and have all these wonderful things, which is great, but so that way you can also have a greater degree of understanding of spirituality, how it works, where it comes from, why it's there, and why it's even relevant and important. So, once again, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, like, whatever you got to do, you know what to do. If you're on YouTube, you're well aware of all the wonderful things you could do to make things better for us. And when you do that, it just makes it easier for us to keep putting out more of these videos, allows us to focus more of our attention on this. So we would really appreciate that. Or, if you do have any questions, or if you didn't like it, just leave a comment, let us know, or ask a question, and we can go from there. We appreciate you either way. Hope you have a wonderful time, and, you allow yourself to have a blessed day.